Starting with a blank Drupal installation often feels like trying to assemble an engine from a box of loose bolts and gears. You have the individual components, but the logic connecting them into a working system is invisible. Pre-built templates change the sequence of learning. You begin with a fully configured site, one that already has content, layouts, and menus, and work backward to see how those decisions were made. Using a crowd-based platform like DrupalForge removes the other major hurdle, the local setup. You avoid spending your first few hours installing databases or troubleshooting command line tools on your own machine. Instead, you select a starting point, like a basic starter site or a structured education template, and launch a complete browser-accessible environment with a single click. By skipping the setup phase, you bypass the early technical friction. This allows you to immediately look under the hood and see how a professional Drupal architecture is organized. To start your deconstruction, act like a regular visitor first. Click through the homepage, read a news article, and check the navigation. Once you see the output, you can log in and find the specific backend screens where that text and imagery are stored. This diagram shows the core Trinity of Drupal. A page is an assembly of 3 layers: structured data, a query to fetch that data, and a layout tool to place it on the screen. The first layer is the content type, the raw container for your information. A news article content type separates data into distinct fields: a headline, an image field, and a calendar picker for the date. That information flows into the view. The view acts as a filter that queries the database. It rejects the content you don't need and organizes the rest, like sorting your news articles to show the most recent ones first. Finally, the block layout system positions that filtered data. It takes the output from the view and assigns it to a specific region on your website's grid, such as the sidebar or the header. Visualizing this pipeline helps you categorize what you see on the screen. You can begin to identify which parts of a page are governed by raw data fields and which parts are controlled by the display logic. Now that you have a map of the structure, you can start customizing. A practical first step is to modify the existing news content type by adding a new field for a short article summary. Before making the change, adopt a specific habit. Change exactly one setting, save your work, and test the result. Navigate to the news content type in the admin menu and add a simple text field labeled Summary. Once you save, check your live site to see where that new field appears in the interface. Let's try it. Pause the video here. Locate that same news content type and try adding a dedicated image field on your own. To complete the task, you go to Structure, select Content Types, manage the fields for news, and click Add Field. You select the image type, name it, and save the configuration. Isolating your changes this way prevents the common ripple effect. If the site behaves unexpectedly after changing one thing, you know exactly which configuration caused the issue, rather than guessing between dozens of simultaneous edits. By repeating this cycle, adding fields, updating views, and placing blocks, you can build out a complete 5-page organizational site using the template as your guide. Completing this mini project helps you internalize the underlying logic of the software. You aren't just memorizing menus, you are learning how Drupal handles structured content. This 3-step approach is your roadmap: explore, inspect, and customize. Maintain isolated changes by modifying one element at a time to understand cause and effect. Finally, troubleshoot using the core Trinity: data in a content type, filtered by a view, and displayed in a block. By reverse engineering pre-built templates, the architecture of a Drupal project becomes visible. You stop guessing where a feature lives and start navigating the admin interface with a clear sense of how the components connect.